Dr. Thuang Htun is the representative for UN Affairs for the exiled Burmese government, and we're meeting here in New York. And just a little while ago, you were part of a session at the UN where the UN envoy, who's just returned from Burma or Myanmar, spoke to the UN. What did he say? What do we know now from his trip?
Yes, of course, his mission was not completely success as we expected, but it is successful in some extent. He can crack the door, and he was able to meet leaders of the military and as well as Aung San Suu Kyi, who has been under house arrest since 2003. Of course,
she was the leader of the government elected in 1990 that never got to take office.
Yes, that's right. But we are quite shocked to see that military continue the atrocities, like the killing, arresting people, raiding the monasteries, and destroying the properties of the monastery. Even at the time, the UN Special Envoy, Mr. Gambari, was physically present inside the country.
Did he witness those things, or?
His trip was quite limited in terms of access to the people. He was interested to meet leaders of the 88 generation students group.
That's the group that protested in '88 when
Yes.
the current junta came to power.
Yes, yes. And then that group was play a very significant role in Burmese democracy movement, and they are well respected by the public and very much admired by the general population. So Mr. Gambari was not able to meet the representatives from 88 generation, also representatives from the Buddhist monks who were involved in the recent peace march. In that sense, he was not successful, and we were also very much concerned that he was not able to meet Aung San Suu Kyi at her home. So Aung San Suu Kyi was brought to the guest house where he was arranged to stay, and definitely that there can be the listening devices monitoring the conversation between Aung San Suu Kyi and UN Secretary General. That's why we are quite disappointed at such kind of arrangement by the regime.
Do we know where Aung San Suu Kyi is living now? There have been some reports that she was taken back to the prison. Is she still in her house? Do we know?
She is still at her home, of course, under house arrest, and completely lost contact with the outside world. Mr. Gambari is the only foreign dignitary she was able to meet in the last 4 years.
And what did we learn about that meeting? What did he say about that meeting?
He didn't say in detail. Of course, he said he relayed the message from the Secretary General. Apart from that, he didn't seem to get any particular commitment from the side of the regime.
Is that why they're saying it's not a success? Because the regime didn't answer the way the UN would have liked them to?
Yes, yes. Regime didn't commit any particular recommendation made by the UN Special Envoy.
So what's the hope now? If the protests are stopping, how does this end, at least in the short term?
Of course, the protests and in the streets were stopped temporarily, but it doesn't mean that Burmese people already give up, the struggle. In the coming months, various forms of resistance activities will continue. That's what I believe.
The type of measured, calm, peaceful resistance has never worked in Burma. In 1990, the coalition won the elections, and then the military decided not to honor the results. There was only more violence. They arrested, or worse, some of the leaders.
Yeah.
Isn't there a concern that will happen again?
That the recent crackdown proves the fact that military mindset, military still seem to believe that violence can be the option for them to silence the opposition movement.
For 45 years, it's worked.
Yeah, but I think the situation now is different from the situation in 88.
Why?
Yeah, because in 88, it's a very close country, and then international community knew about the atrocities only few months later. But now it is because of the modern technology.
Yeah. Through YouTube, through camera phones.
Yes, internet, and the new generation of activists are quite clever in using internet, so that whatever happened in the country yesterday can be known by the international community. And then also we can also prove the fact that military is accountable for that kind of atrocity. They can no longer lie to the international community. Nothing had happened.